All right, in this video I'm going to take you through using Alexa routines and building a homeschool schedule to hopefully give you guys a routine that will help the kids follow throughout the day. That'll make life a little bit easier for everyone. When the kids started to work from home, doing the homeschool thing back in March when lockdown started, we went through a few different things that we tried to get to a normal routine, a good schedule that everyone could follow. And it just wasn't working for any good period of time until we started to use these Alexa routines. And this actually worked out really well. And so we're going to incorporate this into the fall semester where the kids are going to be learning remote again. And so I wanted to record this video to help out any parents out there that are struggling to find, how to build these routines into their day. So, in the Alexa app is where you're actually going to put these routines in place. But the first thing you're going to do is really you have to kind of come up with a schedule. And we use Excel for this. We used 30-minute blocks for periods of study schedules, and we gave the kids 5-minute intervals for break time. And we actually let the kids take quite a bit of control over creation of this. They're 9 years old now. They were 8 when they did this, and we let them do things like figure out what period of the day to do which subject. If that's an option for you, if your school allows you to be flexible like that, then that actually worked out pretty well for us. It gave them a little bit more buy-in to the whole process, got them excited about it. So like my son, we have twin 9-year-olds, and my son picked, I think, Monday and Wednesday, my daughter Tuesday, Thursday. Then they had to collaborate on Friday, I believe. And my son, he likes math. My daughter, she likes reading a little bit more, so it kind of gave them a little bit more ownership over this. And they even came up with the start time as well. So they usually are not the ones to wake up super early. So a 10 a.m. start time seemed to work well for them, even though it meant that the end of the day came a little bit later than normal, which was totally okay with us. So yeah, anyways, once we got these periods together with all the different subjects to study, then we wanted to actually create kind of more of a bell schedule within the Alexa routines, and that's what I'm going to show here on the left. Unfortunately, Amazon or Alexa doesn't allow you to be able to put in routines on a web interface, so you're actually going to have to do this on your phone through the Alexa app. I'll go ahead and let's go ahead and go all the way back in here. So in your Alexa app itself, you're going to open this up. You're going to go to More, and then over to Routines. And that's where all this stuff lies. So notice column C, I have the routine itself that this period is tied to. So School 2 is actually this one here. I'll get into School 1 here in a little bit. It's kind of our wake-up routine, kind of get started for the day, and I'll go over that here in just a little bit. But School 2, I'll go ahead and take you through what this looks like. I'm going to go ahead and go into School 2. So it starts at 10 a.m. on all weekdays, so from 10 to 10:30. And notice kind of the actions that we have down here. First thing it does is stop the audio on the associated device. If we scroll down, we'll see that the kitchen is the associated device. This is the Echo that's closest to the kids where they study. And then we set the volume up to 8. We need the announcements to be a bit louder. Now this volume, setting it to 8, is only for that associated device. We have Alexa tell the current time, so it's 10 a.m. Then we do this announce, period 1 has begun. And the announce is actually something that we kind of played around with. It doesn't actually announce this on just the kitchen Echo. It announces it on all the Echoes that you select. Now we'll get into that here in a little bit, but that actually has worked out pretty well because it's announcing that period 1 has begun on all Echo devices except for like my office, for example. And then it takes the volume back down to 5. It waits for 30 more minutes, so it's going to wait until essentially 10:30. Then before it tells the current time, it's going to set the volume back up to 8, tell the current time, and then announce that the study period is over. And if we click in here, it says 5-minute break time begins now. So, and then the final thing is setting the volume back to 5, where we typically keep it at. And this routine essentially gets you through the first study period along with the 5-minute break time that we put after that study period. So if we hit back, essentially we have school 1 through school 9, and we'll actually walk through creating these routines because these options aren't always where you think they might be. So let's go ahead and do that now. So from the home screen, when you click on More and then Routines, you're going to see the little plus button up here on the top right. We're going to enter a routine name first. So we'll call this School 2A, since I already have a School 2. When this happens, so this is going to be on a schedule. So schedule at time, and we're going to select this to repeat on all weekdays. So we don't have to worry about turning the routine on and off during the weekends, which is nice. And then at the time, we want this to be at 10 a.m. Okay. Next. Now we're going to add an action. So here's where all the actions live. All right. So the first thing we want to do, you know what? Let's take a screen capture of the. Yeah, let's take a screen capture of School 2 so we know what it looks like here. All right. That way it's easy for us to recreate. All right, so I'm going to go back in, call this School 2A. Again, we're going to set the schedule for repeating on weekdays at 10 a.m. All right, so here's where we're at before, which is adding the actions. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stop the audio on the associated device. So that's under device settings, stop audio, and we'll say next. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is set the volume up to 8. We want it to be nice and loud when we have Alexa announce the current time. Under device settings as well, volume. So this is on a percentage scale. So 80% sets the volume to 8. We're going to say next. We're going to now have Alexa tell the current time. So if we hit add again, we'll say date and time. We'll click on time. Alexa will tell you the current time. Good. Next. And now we're going to say announce that period 1 has begun. So this is where you have to go down to where it says messaging. And this takes a little bit to find. It's not always apparent where this thing lives. So messaging and send an announcement. So we're going to say period 1 has begun. All right, so now we get to pick which devices we're going to select for this. So I don't want this to be announced in my office when I'm working, but in my son's room, in the kid's bathroom, in our bathroom, I don't need it to announce in the thermostat. That's fine. My daughter's room, in the kitchen, in the playroom, in the workroom, we'll announce basically everywhere except the thermostat in my office. We'll say next, confirm with another next. All right. So then after that initial announcement for period 1, we're going to set the volume back down to 5. So we're going to add another action, device setting, volume, and it's already on 50%. We'll just say next, next. Now we need to have it wait for 30 minutes. So this is going to wait until the 30-minute period 1 is over before it starts to announce that period 1 has ended and that we're going to get back into break time. So we're going to Go to device settings. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see where we're at here. We're at, yeah, period 1 has begun, so now we need to set the volume back to 5, yeah. So, device settings, volume at 50%. Next, next. Oh, you know what? We already had that. So yeah, notice when you put this in, sometimes it actually puts them in the wrong order. So you can hold down the action and then actually move it around. So I mistakenly added 2 volume 5s. So I'm just going to hit the minus button, and that will clear out that extra volume 5. All right, so now we need to let it wait for 30 minutes. So add an action. At the bottom, we have wait. It's already selected for 30 minutes. We'll say next. All right. So now the period 1 is over, and we're going to announce the current time again. So we need to set the volume back up to 8. Device settings, volume, scroll over to 8. Next, next. All right. So we're gonna, yeah, notice it actually comes up on the top here. So I'm gonna hold this down and take it down to the bottom here. All right. So we're gonna have it tell the current time again. Time and next. All right. Now we're going to announce that the study period is over. So we're going to come back down to messaging. There it is. We're going to say send announcement. The study period is over. 5-minute break time begins now. Next. We're going to play this again on everywhere except in my office and the thermostat. Okay. Confirm with the next. And then finally, I think the last thing we do is set the volume back down to 5. So we're going to hit the final action. Device settings, volume is already at 50%. Next, next. Okay, so let me do a quick check here. We're going to stop the audio associated on the device. So if they're already playing music and things like that, it'll automatically just stop whatever's playing. Oh yeah, look at that. Set the volume to 5, crept up to the top. That's probably supposed to be down here. Yeah, the study period is over. It doesn't have a volume 5. Okay, so let's move this down here. There we go. Okay. So stop the audio, set the volume to 8, tell the current time. Announce that period 1 has begun, set the volume back down to 5. Wait for 30 minutes for the period to be over. We're going to set the volume back up to 8. Then tell the current time. Announce the study period is over and the break time has begun, and then set the volume back down to 5. So that is essentially the routine that we're going to repeat for most of the day. We need to come down and actually select the device that this is going to target. So in this case, the kitchen is the closest for the kids when they study. So we'll say kitchen, and now we can actually save up here. Now it would stink to have to go through and create this every single time. So fortunately, we can actually go through and copy these routines. So we're going to copy school 2A, and we'll make the school 3 routine out of this. So we're going to hold this down. No, I'm sorry. We're not going to do that. We're going to go into school 2A. We're going to hit this little menu button up here, these little 3 dots. And we're going to say copy actions to new routine. And that'll keep us from having to recreate every single one of those actions. All right. The routine name for this one will be school 3. Got to put an A since I already have a school 3. When this happens, so we're going to put this to come on at 10:35. So at time, we're going to repeat this on the weekdays again. At time 10:35 a.m. Next. And let's see, the only other thing we really need to change is this announcement right here. So instead of saying period 1 has begun, we'll say period 2 has begun. Next, next, next. And there we go. So we just created school 3, and it didn't take that much longer to create that. So same thing, same actions as before. Waits 30 minutes before it announces that that the study period is over, that break time has begun. It's targeting the kitchen again, except for the announce feature. This announce is actually all the Echo devices that I selected. So that's pretty much it. Now we created school 3A, and we can repeat this throughout the day for the different periods. I do have something different for just before lunch for the routine school 5. Let's go ahead and go into this here. You see it actually says the study period is over. It's now time for lunch, right? So I changed that up so they know it's now lunchtime. And we actually gave them, they wanted to get a longer lunchtime so they could take a nap if they wanted to, or play a little bit instead of just eating and getting back to school. All right, let's go back. School 9, also have that changed a little bit when the school day is over. So we actually have school 9 for snack time as well. So notice we wait for 30 minutes for school 9 period, and then we say that the study period is over. 15-minute snack time begins now. All right. And then at the end, it's time to start chores. So we'll say announce snack time is over. Please start on your chores. And another nice thing about doing the announcement on all the different Echo devices is so that my wife can also hear what period it is, and so she can kind of keep track of if the kids should be in study period or on break. That kind of helps, so she doesn't have to just keep an eye on them throughout the day. She'll know through the announcements. A couple of other routines that are helpful. Well, let's talk about school 1 since it's actually not on the routine calendar here. If I go into school 1, this is kind of to get them started in the day. At 9:55, so 5 minutes before 10 a.m., I play a trumpet sound and we announce, good morning, school will begin in 5 minutes, just kind of a heads up that, hey, finish up your breakfast, get ready to get back to the computer and start your day. We set the volume back down to 4 to play a little classical music for 5 minutes. And when the classical music is playing, then everybody in the house knows that, hey, school's going to start in 5 minutes. And that's just to get started for the day. Another helpful routine is the morning wake up routine. So wake up Aiden. Since they start school at 10, we give them about 45 minutes to get ready and eat in the morning. So at 9:15 a.m., it stops the audio on the associated device. We'll talk about the bedtime routine that I have set up here in a second. This essentially stops that white noise that we play at night. Sets the volume up to 6. We have Alexa tell something new for the day. So this is like, it's Martin Luther King Day, or it's, the anniversary of the moon landing or something like that. And then we have it give them a little weather report of what the day is supposed to be like, set the volume to 4, and then my son likes to listen to video game music. We have that playing for 5 minutes, so he knows it's time to get up and get ready. Where my daughter, I think she has Disney music that she plays in the morning. So yeah, play Disney on Pandora for 5 minutes. So that gives them a little something to kind of wake them up. At bedtime, this has actually worked out pretty well. At 10:10 is time for bed. Whatever audio they have playing on that device at that time, it stops it, sets the volume to 5, and then we use this open waterfall sounds by Sleep Jar. We actually don't have a subscription for this. It's totally free. You do have to turn on looping, I think, the first time. So you have to say, Alexa, loop on the first time it plays, and then it should play all the way through the night, and you shouldn't have to do that again. That's just a one-time thing. But that works pretty well for white noise throughout the night, which is nice. And besides that, that's pretty much it. We do have the volume that we set back for certain devices like the bathroom, for example. Sometimes the kids take a shower in our bathroom and they like to blast the music while they're in the shower. So at night, we'll set the volume always back to 4 so that we don't get blasted in the morning to volume 10 on the echo when we play music or something like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. I'll make sure that I put a link to the spreadsheet so you guys don't have to recreate this on your own. Yeah, and hopefully this was helpful. One other thing, the Echo itself, if you don't have one, they're usually not too expensive. So this is not a sale price. So typically $50 for the normal one and $60 for the one with the clock, which is handy for the kids' rooms. But you can normally find these on sale for 20 or $30, even cheaper if you get Amazon Music along with it. So it's not a whole lot of money, and you can run these routines throughout the day to hopefully give you guys some sanity back in your life while you're doing homeschool. So anyways, hope that was helpful, and yeah, let me know if you have any questions.